Today I've got 4 mid-range ANC in earbuds and I will compare them across multiple use case scenarios to find out which one is best. Hi, my name is Andy and you're watching Andy's Tech Tone. Thanks for tuning in. Why these 4 earbuds, you may ask? Well, these buds are the most recent mid-range offerings of their respective brands, and as of making this comparison, each and every one of them come in at exactly $130. And besides their matching prices, all 4 offers a bunch of useful features, so if you are looking for a set of mid-tier ANC buds, these 4 should definitely be on your shortlist. And the way I'm going to test and rank the earbuds is the following. I've got 4 different use case scenarios and within each there are multiple categories. The winner of each category will get 1 point, with the last getting 4. And whichever buds get the least amount of points in total will win each scenario, and of course there will be an overall winner as well. So let's see our first scenario, which is commuting/traveling. In this case I've got 4 categories: active noise cancelling, carry case/portability, microphone quality outside, and other. And starting with the active noise cancelling, the clear winner here is the Soundcore Liberty 5. It handles low frequency noises particularly well compared to the others, which comes in handy when sitting on a bus or an airplane. Sony can keep up when it comes to blocking out higher pitch noises, but again it loses to Soundcore at low pitch hums and rumbles. Both the Sony and the Soundcore buds are also the quietest in terms of white noise when the ANC is enabled. Skullcandy comes in third thanks to its average noise cancelling prowess, and the Creative buds finish last with their subpar performance and with the highest amount of hiss with the ANC on. Moving on to the carry cases and portability, I have to give this one to Creative for 2 reasons. First, this case has the smallest footprint overall, and it's also the slimmest, making it the most pocket-friendly. And second, there is a lanyard loop on the side, which can give you the option to attach it to your bag, for example. And even though it's not strictly the case itself, but since we talk about portability, it has to be mentioned that the Aurvana Ace Mimi is the only one in the bunch that comes with a soft carry pouch in its box. Second in the category is the Sony case, thanks to its compact size and the springy and solid hinge on its lid. And even though the Skullcandy case comes with unique design features such as the big carabiner at the top or the sliding out drawer where you store the buds, it's way too big for most pockets. I know it's a trademark design of sorts and potential buyers will want to use the carabiner for hanging the case off of a bag or something, but still, this thing is huge, so it can only be third in this comparison. And while the Soundcore case is way more compact, I put it in last place due to the rather loose sliding mechanism on its lid, which also has some play. So slipping it in and out of a pocket or just having it hanging around in your bag can accidentally open the lid sometimes, connecting the earbuds to your phone without you noticing it. So last place it is. And now let me give you a few audio samples to assess the phone call quality of the buds while you are on the move.
This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the Sony WF-C710N outside, with some light traffic and a very gentle breeze. This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the Soundcore Liberty 5 outside, with some light traffic and a very gentle breeze. This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the Skullcandy Method 360 ANC outside, with some light traffic and a very gentle breeze. This is an audio sample from the built-in microphones on the Creative Aurvana Ace Mimi outside, with some light traffic and a very gentle breeze.
In the other category, I'm looking at other features that can come in handy while you commute or travel. A good example of that is the adaptive sound control in the Sony app, which can detect whether you walk, run or sit and can adjust the ANC settings accordingly. You can also register certain locations, such as a workplace, your parkrun or the local bus station, so the earbuds will automatically switch to your preferred setting based on your location. The Quick Attention feature, which activates transparency and pulls down the volume while you are touching the buds, can also come in handy if you want to quickly listen to an announcement at the train station or at the airport. All that puts the C710 in first place. Both the Skullcandy and the Soundcore buds offer you the option to take a photo or a selfie with your phone using their respective controls, and that's something people do a lot these days, so both deserve the second spot here. Last is Creative with its AuraCast support, which allows you to listen in on public broadcasts using this particular technology, such as airport announcements or museum guides. The only issue is that I'm not quite sure how widely used Auracast is at the moment, so it's only good enough for a third place. Overall, in this scenario, the scores are very close to one another, with the Creative and the Sony edging out both the Soundcore and the Skullcandy. If you need the best ANC for your travels, however, your pick should definitely be the Liberty 5. And since we safely arrived at the office after commuting all morning long, let's talk about this scenario next. The categories here are multi-point use, mic quality inside, battery life, and other. Let's start with multi-point, aka dual device connection, which is something that all 4 earbuds support. It means that you can connect your earbuds to your laptop and to your phone at the same time, and that's regardless of the platforms you use. It can be a Windows PC with an Android phone or a MacBook with an iPhone and all sorts of combinations of these. With phone calls, all earbuds will switch the audio to your phone automatically. With media playback, however, there are some differences. The Sony, the Creative and the Skullcandy will not pause the first device automatically when you switch to the second, so you will have to do it yourself. First pause device 1, then hit play on device 2. The Soundcore buds are the only ones doing all this automatically for you. Another feature that might improve your workflow is having a list of all previously connected devices in the app with the option to switch between them manually. And that's something only the Soundcore and the Sony apps can offer. And if you add to this that the Liberty 5 can use its LDAC codec along with dual device connection, then we have a clear winner. Thanks to its connection management list, Sony is a close second, while the Aurvana is Mimi and the Method 360 ANC share the third spot. Next, you will hear some more audio samples, since making phone calls can potentially be a part of your job description as long as you work in an office. This is the audio quality you can get from the built-in microphones on the Sony WF-C710N indoors in a quiet environment. This is the audio quality you can get from the built-in microphones on the Soundcore Liberty 5 indoors in a quiet environment. This is the audio quality you can get from the built-in microphones on the Skullcandy Method 360 ANC indoors in a quiet environment. This is the audio quality you can get from the built-in microphones on the Creative Aurvana Ace Mimi indoors in a quiet environment. Next up is battery life, which is simply a numbers game, so here are the numbers. Overall, the Creative buds are last with up to 7 hours of use on a single charge and 28 hours in total. And that's with the ANC turned off. And using either ANC or especially the LDAC codec will drain those batteries in just about 3 to 4 hours according to my own tests. There is no mention of quick charging in the official specs, but at least we got wireless charging with the case. Neither the Sony nor the Skullcandy can do that, I mean wirelessly charging their respective cases, but we get a significant jump in battery life with both, along with a great quick charging feature as well. Between these two, with the slightest of margins, I would give it to Skullcandy, which makes Sony third and Soundcore first. Again, there is not much to separate these three altogether, but the Liberty 5 gives you the quickest top-up, plus there is the wireless charging support built into the case. I created the other category for office use as well, but to be honest, I could not really find any meaningful differences between the 4 buds. Single bud mode, which is something you might want to take advantage of in an office, is available across the board. Then there is Google Fast Pair, which might be of interest to you, and it's supported by all except for the Aurvana Ace Mimi, but then the Creative buds are the only ones that have Auracast and LE audio, which also has the potential to be useful in a work environment. So overall, the other category is sort of neutralized in my opinion, having no impact on the final score here. Speaking of which, in this scenario, Soundcore jumps out as first, while the other 3 finished with the same points in total. And whenever you finish work, you might want to head over to the gym or go out on a run, so our next scenario is exercise, where the categories are fit and build quality, transparency mode and wind noise, and the controls. So, during a workout, 2 of the most important aspects of any earbuds is how secure their fit is and how robustly built they are. And I'm happy to say that both in terms of a secure fit and the overall build quality, I found all 4 to be good enough for casual gym use and running. But there are some nuances based on which I can rank them. So the Sony is last here, mainly due to the fact that all we get is a basic IPX4 sweat and splash resistant rating and 3 sets of silicone tips in the box, which, while probably give you a decent chance to find a secure fit, the others can do better. There is the creative Aurvana Ace Mimi, for example, with 5 sets of tips and an IPX5 rating, which gives you a bit more of a protection against water ingress. Both the carry pouch and the lanyard loop can prove to be useful in this scenario too. Next is Skullcandy with 3 sets of tips along with 3 sets of separate ear fins for a more customizable fit. In this case, unfortunately, we get the inferior IPX4 rating of the Sonys again, but for casual gym use, it should be still plenty good as far as protecting the earbuds against your sweat. And while the huge case might be a disadvantage during everyday use, having that big ring can be handy if we want to just attach the case to our sports bag, making sure we don't leave our buds at home when going to the gym. But when it comes to fit and build quality, the soundcore buds stand out with 6 sets of silicone tips in the box and the best-in-test IP55 dust and waterproof rating. And while the active noise cancelling can be crucial, especially in a crowded gym with music blasting from the speakers, we already established how the buds rank in terms of their ANC performance. In this section, I would rather shift the focus to how the earbuds can handle wind noise while running outside and how good their ambient mode is, because that's a key feature from the standpoint of road safety. So as far as transparency, it sounds clean and intense with some boost in the bass on the WF-C710, but there is also plenty of white noise. The Skullcandy buds have a similar amount of hiss and we get that bump in the bass too, but the stay aware mode is definitely more muffled than on any of the other 3. The creative buds have the highest noise floor of the bunch, but their sound is sort of neutral or maybe a touch muffled across the mid-range. The soundcore buds are probably the most natural sounding of them all, with the least amount of hiss in transparency mode. As for their wind noise performance, by default it's the Method 360 ANC that seems to be handling that whooshing noise the best. The Liberty 5 is just a hair behind, but it offers a dedicated wind noise reduction mode as well, which can help a lot. The Aurvana Ace Mimi can struggle in breezy conditions, but setting the slider to the middle position in the app reduces wind noise quite a bit. And the worst of them all is the Sony, which produces loads of wind noise, and not even messing around with that slider in the app can help much at all. All things considered, I would say that Soundcore wins, followed by Skullcandy, Creative and Sony. And I put the controls in the exercise scenario because in my experience, if there is something wrong with the controls on any earbud, it will definitely show when things get a bit messy, such as in the middle of a workout. And that's especially the case with touch-sensitive panels, which we have on all buds here but one, as the Liberty 5 uses squeeze controls on its stem. And while all of them works more or less the same across the board as far as overall functionality and accuracy, there are major differences in terms of how much you can customize them. And the worst in that regard is Sony. I mean, there are all sorts of tapping actions such as single, double, triple, long tap and repeat tap for volume, but none of them can be individually changed. I found that the single tap is way too sensitive, so it can be triggered by accident with a towel in the gym or even by my own arms or shoulders during yoga. And since you cannot disable the single tap on its own, things can get annoying really quick. I also don't like the repeat tap action for adjusting volume, which is again baked in and cannot be changed. Sure, we get smart sensors on board the C710 for auto pause when we remove the earbuds, but that feature has a bit of a temper and does not always work properly. And then I won't even mention how unreliable the controls can get in wet conditions, be it some rain or sweaty hands. So in case it wasn't obvious yet, Sony is last here, which means 4 points. Next is Creative with its individually remappable touch control functions. We don't have single tap, but between the double, triple and long tap actions, we can have all the controls set up exactly the way we want. The one big downside of the Aurvana Ace Mimi, besides the missing smart sensors for autoplay pause, is the fact that the buds sit so deep in my ear canals that touching the panels makes me feel like I'm tapping on my own eardrums, and that sort of discomfort is the last thing I need during a workout or when running. So, third place it is. Onto the Liberty 5, it has all the goodies such as smart sensors for automatic play and pause, individually customizable tapping actions, the optional camera remote controller function, or the option to mute the mics during a phone call. But to me, the squeeze controls feel like a bit unresponsive at times, and that can be distracting, especially during training or running. And my absolute favorites here are the Skullcandy buds, as they come with large, quick-reacting touch panels, which are easy and comfy to use in all scenarios, including the gym and also running. All the tapping actions are customizable individually on each side, and any of them can be disabled in case you experience any mishaps. We get autoplay pause and the option to take photos using the controls, so it's a solid first place for the Method 360 ANC. But overall, it seems like that the Soundcore Liberty 5 is the winning choice for both gym goers and runners, with the Skullcandy being a close second. The other two should be saved for a more casual use, which takes us nicely to our last scenario, which is indeed casual use and music listening, with 4 categories: sound quality, EQ settings, comfort, and other. Let's see the sound quality first, which is split into 4 subcategories to highlight the importance of this one trait. It's listening to some sort of an audio content, which is the major use case of in-earbuds after all. I tested all the 4 with their default EQ settings out of the box, with the ANC turned on, and with the best audio codec available on each. The most amount of bass comes from the Liberty 5, so for bass-driven genres, these are probably your best bet. However, I personally prefer the slightly leaner, but more controlled and nuanced, yet still very powerful and dynamic bottom octave of the Skullcandies, which makes these buds the winner of this subcategory. Both the Sony and the Creative have all the same qualities, but maybe with a touch less of an extension, and to be honest, I could hardly tell these two apart, so they both get the same points in third place. In terms of mid-range, we get the most open, forward and detailed vocals on the Sony. A close second is Creative, then comes Skullcandy and Soundcore in that order. So for vocal-heavy music, podcasts, audiobooks or Netflix, where speech intelligibility is key, the C710 is probably the best option. As for the high frequencies, we get the most energy, detail and extension from the Sony buds, which brings the most airy presentation and the most spacious soundstage with it. A very close second is Creative, with maybe just a touch less extension and a bit more center-focused image. Soundcore is third, as it's a bit ahead of the Skullcandy buds, both in terms of detail and energy in the treble, but only in LDAC mode. And last, since I know a lot of you want to hear about it, here is my ranking in terms of absolute volume, or at least my perception of it. The loudest is the Method 360 ANC, then come the C710, the Liberty 5 and the Aurvana Ace Mimi in that order. And in case you want to know how much you can tinker with the sound of each of the buds, let's compare the EQ settings offered by their respective apps. Here, Skullcandy delivers only the bare minimum with 3 presets and a 5-band manual EQ. Sony has a few more presets with the option to fine-tune each through a 5-band manual EQ where we can save multiple profiles. Then there is the DSEE upscaler, and more interestingly, the Find My Equalizer feature, which allows you to tailor the sound of the earbuds to your liking by selecting from different audio profiles while listening to any song of your choice. In the Soundcore app, you will find Hear ID, which is a hearing test of sorts, and at the end of which you will get a custom frequency response curve. Then you can either tweak it using the 8-band manual EQ, where you can save multiple profiles, or apply any of the presets, which there is plenty of. Altogether, the Liberty 5 comes with a very comprehensive EQ feature with loads of options and custom settings. But Creative can do even better. Maybe not in terms of how many different options there are, but at the end of the day I found the Mimi sound personalization feature to deliver the best results in the group. In the equalizer menu, you can not only find a good number of presets, but you can also customize each and every one of them using the 10-band manual EQ. But the real magic happens in the Mimi-powered personalization menu, where you can run an extensive hearing test and then you have the option to play around with the custom profile you get as a result. And since we talk about casual use, let's not forget about the long-term comfort of using these buds. The WF-C710 is my least favorite here due to its round-shaped ear tips which sit deep inside my ear canals. The Creative buds can also sit deep enough, but the oval-shaped tips will stop the pressure from building up over time. Next are the Liberty 5s, which offer great comfort for hours on end, but again, I would prefer having oval-shaped tips here too. And the winner is Skullcandy, with the combination of those ear wings and the oval tips, which do not cause any fatigue or irritation inside my ear canals, thanks to the even weight distribution and the not too deep fit. On to the other category, well, it's a bit of a mix of all the other features that haven't come up yet, but are worth at least a quick mention. Starting with the Method 360 ANC, there is quick access to Spotify through the controls with Spotify tab and the low latency game mode in the Skullcandy app. But you cannot turn those annoying voice prompts off, which is something you can do on the Creative buds. With the Aurvana Ace Mimi, you will also get a low latency mode along with a bunch of different audio profiles specifically created for games, which make the Aurvana Ace Mimis a great option for gamers. Plus you get the LDAC and the LC3 codecs on top of the usual AAC and SBC. And while Sony will only give you AAC and SBC, they managed to cram loads of other features into their app. It offers you support for 360 reality audio, quick access to either Spotify or Amazon Music, an auto power-off timer, volume adjustment for the voice prompts, and we also get a switch for enabling and disabling the auto play pause feature. Overall, this package is solid enough for a second place. But the winner is the Liberty 5 with its LDAC support, Dolby Audio, Find device, an auto power-off timer, adjustable voice prompts, an auto play pause switch, a fit test, safe volume, and a low latency game mode. And yet again, overall there is not much to differentiate the buds from one another in this scenario. Sony pulled off a win, but that is only obvious after having a look at the finish line photo. It's so close. And the other two buds are not that much behind either. And with that, I believe we got everything covered. Based on the overall scores, it's a comfortable win for the Soundcore Liberty 5. Well, as I expected going into this comparison, the differences are not night and day at all, especially between the other three, but again, the Liberty 5 comes out on top. And not just in the overall rankings, but also in almost every individual scenario too. These are the best for both office use and exercise, and second best for both casual use and commuting. The second overall is the Skullcandy Method 360 ANC, thanks to mostly their low scores when it comes to exercise. Next is the Aurvana Ace Mimi with all sorts of mixed results across the board, but the creative buds still finished ahead of the Sony WF-C710, which was a bit of a surprise to me. But I cannot emphasize enough the fact that this is just my Excel sheet with my numbers in it. And all that is based on my own experience with each of the buds. But depending on your own personal preferences and use cases, you might weigh certain features and scenarios differently, which could mean a completely different outcome. At the end of the day, all four earbuds will cost you the same and will get the job done more or less the same too, so I only hope that this comparison will help you choose the one that suits your needs the best. And in the unlikely case you still have some questions left, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will do my best to answer it at some point. But that's it for today. If you liked the video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching everyone, hope to see you all in the next one.